Straight ahead on the Valley today, swamped and blown over. The rain we've been longing for hit hard and heavy, and some people are adding up the damage.
Plus, armed with a gun and demanding cash. Police all over the valley are trying to catch up with this woman right here who held up a bank in North Dakota.
And the struggle for safety in swimming pools. There's a reason they're cutting hours this summer. But first, there's another wrinkle in the decision about how schools will handle fall semester. The American Academy of Pediatrics is now recommending universal masking for all kids older than the age of 2.
And now the group says that because of the uncertainty of the variants and vaccine accessibility for some age groups, students should wear a mask in school buildings even if they're fully vaccinated. These guidelines conflict somewhat with the Centers for Disease Control, which has said only unvaccinated students need to wear a mask in school. It was hard to know what to think of the storm that slammed parts of the valley yesterday. So many areas, well, they're just so dry. We needed that rain that really came down the other day.
But the high winds and rain also did some major damage. People in Mayville are doing some big cleanup. Check this out. As the storm rolled through, groundskeepers at the Mayville Golf Course have to deal with this large tree that was blown over. Look at the roots on that thing as well. Quite the mess there
yeah, it's
for
just
people.
Completely pulled up out of the ground there. And check out some of the rain that was coming out of a storm cloud near Caledonia, North Dakota. That's right behind us here. That cloud, you see it right there. This is close to Buxton. Did some serious damage to crops that were in that area as well. It went over to Climax, Minnesota as well. And we want to get a check of what your weather is this morning. And there is so much to go over. I think Lisa could basically just take the whole show. We have a lot to talk about today, Lisa.
Yes, fog, smoke. There's still rain coming down in parts of the valley and thunderstorms too. And on top of that, the heat that continues to build into the valley. So here's a look at what we have going on right now. This is our live view at the Dakota Magic Casino in the southern end of the valley. We've got low visibility in the distance there because of the fog that's built in and also the smoke too. And speaking of smoke, this is a DOT cam in the Verona area in southeastern North Dakota. I hope you can see it here. There's the sun once again being blotted out by the smoke that's in the distance and in the horizon here in the valley. And that's really affecting air quality and, of course, our visibility reports, too. A couple of advisories in effect, a fog advisory for many of our counties in northwest Minnesota and some of our counties into northeastern North Dakota specifically, though we just saw fog is affecting other places beyond the advisory. It's in effect until 10 o'clock this morning. And combine that with the smoke, and we've got some real issues. We've got air quality alert, northern half of Minnesota here, northern quarter, Bemidji included, back up toward Roseau and Baudette and Grand Forks and Thief River Falls included in that too. So visibility reports, we are down to 0 in Bemidji, slight improvement in Wadena at a half mile, lots of places at a half mile or less, Thief River, Grand Forks and up toward Hallock, and a quarter of a mile visibility in Langdon. So headlights on here today, and just be aware the air quality might be pretty tough when you step outside, especially up north. You can see on our map here from the EPA, you can see the red basically dipping right through the heart of the Red River Valley, indicating unhealthy air quality for everyone. And it may even be a little bit lower than that in that very unhealthy range to the north. Talking about the rain and thunder, that's dipping into the northeastern part of our viewing area. Showers to the west are weakening. One little lightning bolt there showing up as this storm makes its way from Roseau County into Lake of the Woods County, approaching the Baudette area. Temperatures into the 60s to near 70 right now. And your commute today, this morning, haze and fog to watch out for, and a little bit of rain too, for that matter. Temperatures in the 60s. Southern Valley today, we're looking at highs back into the low 90s. Different story for the north, where we'll have more clouds. We'll be more into the 80s there. But the heat continues to build this week. We'll be back into the 90s through the forecast here on your 7-day planner.
Okay, hot couple of days ahead. Thank you, Lisa.
It was a tense few hours in South Fargo after a teenage runaway was spotted walking into the Red River. Police, sheriff's deputies, and firefighters called in a dive team, and they put drones in the air to find that 17-year-old girl yesterday afternoon.
After about 3 hours of searching, Fargo police say the girl was found safe. They're not releasing any other details right now. Charges are expected this week against a man suspected of kidnapping 2 girls from a park in the Northern Valley.
19-year-old Julio Clausen is being held in the St. Louis County Jail on unrelated charges. Police say that he abducted 2 girls on July 10th in Stephen, Minnesota. The Marshall County Sheriff accuses Clausen of abducting the 12 and 14-year-old girls from a park after he saw them sharing their location on the Snapchat maps. The sheriff says witnesses heard Clausen using aggressive language and gestures and then forced the girls into his vehicle.
One witness and another person started following Clausen's vehicle and told officers he was driving recklessly, apparently trying to lose the witness in traffic. Police caught up with Clausen on Highway 75 on the way to Warren. He was going more than 100 miles per hour.
And now Clausen was eventually stopped by Polk County deputies, but the girls, they were not in that vehicle. They were found, however, walking on Highway 75. Luckily, they were not hurt.
Armed bank robbery in Windermere. Suspect possibly headed to the Fargo area. Use caution if vehicle is approached. Suspect is 1032.
This morning, that suspect is still on the loose. Police around the valley are looking for that woman on your screen right who robbed a bank in Richland County, North Dakota. Police say she walked into the Lincoln State Bank in Wyndmere yesterday morning around 11 with her face covered, threatened workers with a gun, and then demanded money.
She left in a beige or tan GMC or Chevy pickup with a topper. 2 employees were in the bank at the time, but they were not hurt. If you have any information on this robbery, contact the Richland County Sheriff's Office or call your local law enforcement.
The NTSB is now on the way to Rochester, Minnesota to investigate a deadly plane crash there. A crop dusting helicopter went down in a field about 10 miles northeast of Rochester.
Witnesses say the aircraft had been in the area most of the day spraying crops when the chopper blades caught some power lines, causing the chopper to crash and catch fire. The pilot was from Texas. There's sad news from the Red River Zoo in South Fargo this morning. We're told that one of 3 new red panda cubs has died.
It happened over the weekend. Executive Director of the zoo, Sally Jacobson, thanked the zookeeper staff for trying to save that cub.
There's a traffic crunch coming today on a busy stretch of I-94 in West Fargo.
The North Dakota Department of Transportation is replacing an overhead beam that was hit by a semi at the Raymond interchange. Westbound traffic will be down to 1 lane and it will use the exit and entrance ramps to go around the bridge. The detour will be in place from 9 to 4 each day of the project. No word, though, on how long it's going to take. Lifeguard shortages, they're continuing to be an issue across the country, and they're even affecting us right here in the FM Metro.
The Valley Today's Brian Sherrod joins us live this morning with how you can help. Good morning, Brian.
And good morning, Jordan and Lisa. You can help by helping out the YMCA by actually being a lifeguard, because at this moment they're cutting down their hours and having to limit certain sections of the pool because they just don't have the staff right now. But if you can get more lifeguards here, it'll help them out in the long run. Now, to be a Red Cross lifeguard, you have to be at least 15 years old, take the American Red Cross lifeguarding course. It's only a 3-day weekend course that certifies you for 2 years. And you must take a pre-swim test that involves distance swimming, grabbing weight objects at the bottom of the pool, and treading water at surface level with the head above the water. Now, we talk about the standard hours. You can see these on your screen. They are saying that they could increase those hours if they were able to get more lifeguards, because right now they're open between 5 to 8 during the week and 6 to 4 on weekends. Salary comes from experience, and you can just go on our web channel, valleynewslive.com, and see how you can apply on there.
Brian Sherrod reporting live for us. Thank you.
Let's get the answer now to our question of the morning on Facebook. That question today, 16% of people claim that they didn't do this at all during the pandemic.
The answer, probably smart. Weigh themselves.
I think you don't need to continue after the pandemic either. That's just a negative place to go.
It took a full year to put on the weight. It should take a full year to take it off after things get back to normal.
Or maybe even a little bit longer. You know, you got Thanksgiving and Christmas in on that
Just
year.
around the corner.
It's a hard time. The Today Show and CBS This Morning, it's just about to start, but the Valley today, it rolls on. More live up-to-the-minute news and weather, and Lisa Green tracking where that air quality is going to be bad and who can expect to see some rain. That's coming up on the Fargo CW.